we can move on now. I didn't put it in the description, but we have just a little bit of questions that we can lay down on Tigerstar in the vein of what we did with Merview. So let's move on into that. These were all written by Batran. I don't know any of them. So,
Most of them.
most of them. We'll start off. Let's get into this Tigerstar discussion. Was there ever a time, any point in time, where you considered doing mapping?
No.
There you go.
Okay.
I'd like to. Okay, this sounds
so
interesting.
awkward.
We can get into it on this because that was a very stern no, and I would like to ask,
Yes.
where's the sternness coming from?
So when I started my channel, I was in middle school. So keep in mind, I was in middle school. And in middle school, I thought that mapping was kind of stupid.
Wow. Wow.
So
How dare you burn the
so-
heretic?
I almost being the stubborn middle schooler, just like I'm not gonna do that. And then my actual stuff took off, and so it's like, okay, I don't need to now.
But you don't need to. Did you ever view it as like something that was expected of you to do?
I mean, a few people would always ask, like, "Oh, do you ever do alternate futures or country balls or anything like that?" I'm like,
Don't do.
Oh, that's not popular.
Oh God, country. Yeah, you don't need to do country balls. You were cutting out a little bit, by the way. I just want to say that.
Oh, I was.
Cool. Okay, so, what can we say? We're not going to convince you of the merit of mapping. That's too. Yeah, with the amount of people I've had to explain what mapping is in my life, I know how difficult it is, and I'm not prepared to do that right now. So, let's move on. So, this next question's from Batran. We got what inspired you originally to do video mapping?
Okay, so here's what's fun. So, we all joke around about how Merview Moraine's the prophet of everything, and how it all started.
Yeah.
Well, so basically, one day I saw his World War I, and I thought it was so bad that I was going to do it myself. And that's how I started my channel.
Oh,
Except I actually didn't do World War I first. I did Napoleon, and then I did World War I.
So that means Merv, you created both video mapping and
He
mapping.
didn't create it.
I mean,
I still
he
created it.
well, he
But he
kind of
inspired.
he was the big
Inspired.
bang. He was the big bang
He
that
was
started
definitely-
video mapping.
Inspired.
He was a spark
That-
that
that's
lit
a
the
better
box.
Wait, what's happening? I come back and I see a bitch appeal saying to burn Tigerstar. What happened? What happened?
Yeah, just
Did-
some friendly discussion is all. So,
Friendly?
Basically, EmperorTigerstar was inspired by Mervu. That's it.
I
so
was
Tiger-
inspired by history.
he's inspired
and-
by
yeah,
history.
make his
That's
videos.
all. Tiger, just by the way, you might want to reconnect your mic or something because it's doing some moves.
It's like it's just completely
It's
cutting
doing
out.
some moves.
Yeah,
it's moving out,
cutting
you know.
every once in a
I
while.
think it's just you, Cosmer. Sounds good
Is
to
it
me.
just me? Okay,
Yeah,
if,
sounds
it's,
good to me.
if it's just me, then I'm insane. And
I
just
think
don't-
Chris is breathing into his microphone.
There's a bit of an echo.
Oh,
The
gosh.
echo, yeah,
Stop.
the echo's my fault. Yeah.
All right, maybe I'm just insane. If that starts happening, just if let us know in chat. I could just be nuts. All right, so next question, Batran. How about you deliver it?
What gave you the term video mapping?
I think it's because anytime I said, oh, I made maps on YouTube, people would just assume it was mapping, you. Did that cut out?
And you,
No,
you're good.
Go on.
For me,
Go on.
for me it is, but-
But so anytime I say oh, I made maps, they say oh, like mapper don't, and so I just kind of made a different term just so people would know the difference.
Wait, you were the one who came up with video mapping.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I mean, I'm not saying the name is bad, but where did video mapping come from?
Honestly, I just made it up on the spot. just to make it
Yeah,
different. And it
I
caught
can-
on.
Have,
So
Yeah, I can see it.
this is a little optional right here, but I was just gonna say it. Have you considered that, like, if video mapping, like, would the term, like, would it, what do you think you get confused with videos about mapping?
what do you mean?
Like video mapping, there's mappers and people who make maps on videos on YouTube. Like, would saying video mapping kind of get confused with them as well?
Maybe, but they've already like adopted the term just mapping or alternate future or Mappergonians.
I guess, but
Yeah, I think video.
maybe to an
video
outsider.
Mapping,
I mean, as an outsider perspective.
I don't know. I think video mapping
mean,
and
maybe.
mapping have like become their own terms enough where people aren't gonna get too confused.
I mean,
Yeah, I
some
know.
people also just use like history mapping or what.
Yeah,
That's true.
that would have been a better term, to be honest. No offense.
Or educational.
I would just be sim mappers or simulations. You
So,
know, make
I got a-
simulations of.
I got a question.
I would rather prefer sim mappers.
I don't think this is in the script, but it just came off the top of my head because, you know, your stuff is known for your videos pop up in classrooms a lot, just out of the blue, and is that syndicated? Like, do they ask you or do they just do it?
Some people ask me, but usually I don't care if they ask me or not. And if they want to use my videos in a class, they can just do it.
All right.
Because like it's not like they're like copyrighted, trademarked
That's
products or anything like that.
I guess you can't
I mean,
copyright.
Were you popular in your school?
Relatively, but like you know, like these are meant to educate people. So if a teacher wants to use them, I don't. They can use it as much.
I gotta ask you guys how you know about the stuff being used in classrooms, though, because personally in my high school, I did not ever get shown Tigerstar's video.
Well, you know, it's spread around a lot.
because-
When it happens in this community, people always, you know, it's the first thing they'll mention in chats
know-
and whatnot.
You know, Mr. Owner Bonner, right? So his videos were shown in the classroom a couple times.
Yeah, it is interesting. I just,
Yeah, the-
you know,
the
I'd rather
photo-
if they ask, because I just like to keep a record of it personally. Like if I was making the stuff and it was getting syndicated all over, I'd like it. But yeah, you know, in the pursuit of education, you know, the free marketplace of ideals. There we
Cosmic,
go.
you don't own this shit.
I guess yeah, you can't copyright history, really.
Yeah.
Oh, you got
And,
trademark
like,
mapping.
Every once in a while, I'll get a comment saying that, or like whenever, like every half year or so, I'll make like a channel census survey type thing, and that'll be one of the questions. Like, oh, have you seen it in the classroom? Have you used it in the classroom as a teacher? And
Yeah.
people say yeah.
I took that. Okay, so next question we got from Batran. How did you and Cody from Alternate History Hub meet each other?
He was actually a fan of my channel before he got.
Ooh.
So we had already just kind of been aware of each.
I watched Cody's videos since he had 300 subscribers. I remember when he had gray maps.
Oh,
Yep.
Wow, that's
Made that
actually
like gray world map and stuff.
Probably got that from
Actually,
Tigerstar.
the funny thing about alternate history about Cody, the thing is, I actually started watching. I watched some of his videos before I was interested in, you know, geopolitics and mapping and stuff. So I remember watching his videos long before I started mapping. Like, these videos are boring. I don't care about the what if the American Revolution didn't happen. But like years after, when I was actually interested, I actually sort of like watched his video with a whole new perspective.
You would probably see my name on one of Cody's videos. I was in his video once.
Wait, what?
That was a long time ago.
All right, we had a little bit of a lag spike and lost some viewership from that. Sorry for.
Move on to the next question.
All right, we can move on to the next thing. Okay,
Lost 10.
lost 10 from that
Alternate
lag
history
spike.
of
You guys
Cody
aren't
said my name
dedicated.
once.
Oh yeah, he did.
Well, I am. I'm not saying.
Mr. Cody
I
said my
mean-
name.
Cody said my name once. I mean, I had to pay him like.
Okay, so what do you think about the current state of world affairs as we stand right now, Tiger?
Very, very depressing.
Oh yeah.
I'm just gonna mute myself in this
Hey,
part.
man.
Yeah, Chris is a fascist. So
Oh come
Oh,
on,
boy.
Chris! It's the whole reason. Like, come on, top 10 crossovers. We want Chris, Tigerstar screaming at each other. Come on, Chris.
Hashtag
There's also me and the Hash for no reason.
I mean, fun fact: me and Tigerstar. I don't know if you remember this, but one time we did kind of argue with each other in a Skype chat, but it wasn't about politics. But we did. It wasn't about politics. It was about Italian army.
Man.
and Galactic Penguin was on my side, so no big deal. Anyways, just answer the question. The question is for you, Tigerstar. Just answer it.
He says depressing.
Yeah, that's why I
Is
said
that it? Is that it?
It's very depressing right now.
I thought you were gonna describe it a bit better. Okay, sure.
Oh,
I mean,
wow.
Because like
He wants you to provoke him.
No, because like I'm just gonna say it. Like I'm on the political left.
Oh,
so
well.
obviously, I don't have very much to be happy about right.
I mean, I'm not saying myself that it's not perfect. I don't think it's perfect either. But I won't say it's depressing. But some parts are depressing, I would say.
It's very depressing.
Yeah.
The whole,
Chris,
the whole,
if you're cheering to most of the governments that are now changing, then of course it's not depressing.
the whole children
Dude,
internment
what?
camp thing. I'm not too big. I'm not too big on that.
Hey, you gotta give us a little juice here. Where does Cody lie in the spectrum?
So Cody's pretty interesting. So like he identifies as a conservative, but like when I've talked with him and we've gotten into issues, economically he's actually more on the left in terms of economics, but he's still kind of traditionalist, if that makes sense.
So, like,
socially.
Maybe like a more like libertarian. I don't know. Not
No,
libertarian.
because the problem with libertarian is like ideally a libertarian wouldn't care how people act socially as long as they're not hurting anyone, so they'd be very liberal socially. But then some libertarians are socially conservative anyway, but they just call themselves libertarians. But that's beside the point. But like Cody, it's so weird because like when we get into individual issues, Cody and I actually agree on a lot of things, but he's still like socially traditional in some aspects. And like Cody is a Catholic. I'm hearing an echo.
Someone's echoing.
It's Chris.
It's me. So I'll unmute.
But like Cody's a Catholic. So for example, he's economically on the left because he wants help the poor and stuff like that, like financially, and work on things like ending homelessness and ending like wealth disparity and things like that, and he's pro-universal. But on the other hand, he's not like college campus type person, if that makes sense.
So like a moderate.
I
Moderate
guess.
kind
I
of.
don't know.
Maybe
Like
not.
hard to explain because
So maybe a liberal conservative. I don't know. That's what they call. Or conservative liberal. I
Well,
don't know.
economically
I guess,
liberal,
'cause
because I wouldn't call somebody who advocates for universal healthcare a moderate necessarily.
But like on like
They-
in Europe, for example, that's a centrist view.
That's true.
It's interesting.
Because like
Well-
by American standards, universal health care is considered far left, but in everywhere else, it's like no, that's about normal.
Yeah.
Because like even Margaret Thatcher is pro universal health care, and that's Margaret.
Yeah.
She's very right.
Exactly. We're a
So-
bit less evolved in America in our way of thinking.
How
Yeah.
dare you? I'm kidding.
How dare I?
Batman, don't start now.
You wanted to talk.
Well, anyways, this goes to show that people are more complicated than you think. They cannot be labeled as one or two things based on whatever they stand on. You know what I'm saying?
Baron,
Yeah.
you're the one who's trying to say, oh, so is he this? Is he this?
Yeah.
When you ask if
Yeah.
You're the one trying to label him.
because like when you ask him, he'll just say he's conservative. But then like every single time we've argued about issues, it's like, well, okay, you're kind of both weirdly. Like
It's like maybe like the old Republicans before Ronald Reagan, because they were like quite on the left.
Classical.
while Republicans used to be the more left party.
Well, I was just saying that just they people like say that they're conservative, but sometimes they have like stance on different issues. Not all conservatives agree on everything. You know what I'm saying? So that's why they're complicated.
All right.
Everything's a spectrum. I like Chris and I obviously. in terms of labels, Chris and I are complete polar opposites, but then we like actually talk. I think particularly in economics, and there's a lot of agreement there. So I think
Yeah, we can agree on something.
we are kind of past the questions, unless Batran has something he wants to lay down before we move on. Anything?
You think you can get Cody on MapperCast? I'm kidding.
Oh,
No.
okay. Wow, just jumping right into it, Batran. Okay, so
Probably
let's.
not gonna happen.
Yeah, that's.